Hello there. Thor, Basement Banner, back. It's another comic review. This time, Gunslinger, issue number 2. This came out a few weeks ago. Actually, it was Thanksgiving week? It was Thanksgiving week. Yes, it was. I ended up having to go, we were out of town for Thanksgiving, and I picked this up in a spot called In This Issue in Iowa, Bettendorf, Iowa, a little local comic shop down there. I snagged this bad boy, which was cool because I didn't have any on the floor. I had to ask the guy. I said, "You got any?" And he's like, "Yeah, we got one, I think." And he's like, "You cool with the B cover?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm cool with any cover. It's fine." So I picked up issue number 2. Read it that day. Yeah, I think I read it that night actually, because I was super pumped to get into it. Just because I loved how 1 finished up, at least the first part of 1, and that's what I loved about issue number 2. Issue number 2 was literally just the conclusion of the part 1 of issue number 1. So part 1 of issue number 1 takes place now, like after him and Al split, after the island stuff, with this guy named Taylor. I explained that in the video on YouTube when I broke down issue 1 and the figure. You go watch that after you watch this. But issue number 2, right at the climax of part 1 of issue 1, they're like, he jumps into action, and then it like cuts to old timey stuff, and I'm like, well, here was the culmination of that. So this one kicks off with literally right where the first one ended. He's jumping into action, and then it's just pure, I would say every page except the last 3 are just him kicking ass, taking names, shooting, pulling, ripping, throwing, killing. It's madness. It's him battling 4 angels, and Taylor's dad from the first issue, if you're familiar. So it's just that battle, which you learn some really cool things, I think, about just the world, things I didn't even know, like biblical things that I wasn't even aware of prior to reading Gunslinger 2. So Gunslinger 3 should be coming out, hopefully. I think it says December on the back here for Gunslinger 3, but I don't think that's accurate. I think it's January. And if it is December, it's like later December. So I think there's nothing this week. 324 is last week. King Spawn 5 needs to be coming out at 325, and then Gunslinger 3. But another thing I did really like about this Gunslinger 2, they really shied away from the whole man out of time thing until the end. There's the end part. There's a toilet involved. It's not awful. It's not great. It's fine. But the man out of time tropes need to end by issue 20. Once issue 20 hits, no more like, what's a cell phone? Why is there a toilet in the house? Some of that stuff. It's fine, and it doesn't bug me too much. But the longer the shtick goes, I think the more I'm going to tire of it. And probably pretty quickly. Because I don't think you need it. I think there's enough in here. What I like about the battle with the 4 angels is it really shows, again, Gunslinger Spawn is weak. He's a weak Spawn. But this shows his cunning, his ability, his fight prowess, what do they call that? Like his battle intelligence is high. Right, which is how he stays alive, and he really wants to know what's going on. Like, how did he get here? Why is he here? How the hell does he get back to his own time? And I think this Taylor dude's gonna have something to do with it. So what we do find out is he went to looking for Taylor's dad, which is kind of a nice little piece that they left out in the beginning. But he went looking for Taylor's dad, and Taylor's dad almost kills him in this episode. And then find out how that ends up tying in. But now we kind of wrapped up this first chapter of the Gunslinger Spawn journey. That first climax has been resolved. There wasn't any back in time pieces to this one. It was all in current time. And now let's see where we go from here. Where does issue 3 go? Do we stay in current time, or are we going to go back in time? I hope not too much. I really would like to keep it mostly here. With very little bit in flashbacks and in tellings of what happened, mostly just to tie in. But yeah, Gunslinger 2, it's on the shelves right now. Go pick it up. It's definitely worth a read. Let me know in the comments. Let me know, have you been loving the Gunslinger issues? Have you been loving the Spawn Universe issues? King Spawn, regular Spawn, Scorched is right around the corner. The year of Spawn, man, it's almost over, but man, it's still going real hard. So, deuces.